The key to hitting a really solid shot on the golf course over and over is clarity. How do you get to a clear situation where what you see in front of you is so clear it's like inevitable that you're going to hit a great shot? The practice swing is going to give you so much key information. If you're not making a practice swing, you're leaving a lot of clarity behind, and if it's clear as mud, it's going to tend to be that way when you hit it. So here are 5 key elements to watch for in your practice swing that are going to make things very clear before you step into the shot. And the more clear it is, the more confidence you're going to have. And the more confidence you have, the better the swing is going to be. It is really that simple. So it first starts with a choice. You need to have a clear flight plan as to what you want to hit, not what you want to avoid, right? So it's not that I don't want to go to the water on the left or I don't want to go to the OB on the right. That's going to give you a lot of fear and a lot of tension. Where do you want to go? Well, right here, I got woods on both sides, but in the distance, there's 3 trees that are sticking out of the foliage there. I'm going to aim at the gap between the 2 trees and the single tree. I'm going to start it towards the tree on the right and draw it back into the gap. I have an intermediate point here, a nice little spot on the ground. It could be a spot of dew. Now I know you're not supposed to hit something in front there, but you could take a practice swing over here and dump some grass clippings over there to have something to go for. That intermediate point is extremely important because from back here, I can see that this is lining me up pretty much in the center of that gap. And if I start my ball slightly to the right of that, it's going to give me that draw that I'm looking for. Now, I'm going to take my practice swing. When you take a practice swing, you're going to notice, and so many of you have no idea where the club is passing in the practice swing. So that's going to actually go the wrong way. It's going to give you very confusing advice if you don't know where the heck this thing is passing. So you're going to observe the blur of the club as it passes in front of you. So I saw the blur of the club pass on that line here. That's number 1. Number 2, what direction is the blur going on? Well, many of you don't realize that your blur is going in a completely different direction that you want your shot to go on. So if I want my blur to go right edge of that intermediate point, notice the direction of the club right now moving slightly right of my intermediate point. Now, once I have the blur in front of me and I have the direction of that blur, I want to know where my low point is. Well, we all know that we're going to catch the ball first, then turf. So I do a practice swing and I'm going, whoa, does that ever look good? So I have a proper direction and a proper low point, and I just gave myself the right distance between me and the ball. So 1 is direction. 2 is low point. Got him right there. 3 is distance to ball. Well, I'm not going to do this now to go to the ball. I got to bring the machine. So now I see the blur in my mind. I see where the low point is. I see the direction that I'm about to send this on. Now, the 2 last things that you want to pay attention to in the practice swing is, did I use momentum? Because one of the biggest swing killers is when you're swinging fast. Why are you swinging fast? Because you're trying to hit it hard, or you're so confused that you got to get it over with quick before something bad happens, right? So, my flight plan, my practice swing. Oh yeah, That's a beautiful flow of momentum that made the swing feel powerful and easy to produce. See where I'm going with this? So the last thing I want to do is, okay, I'm going to hit this thing hard. And you're not realizing that the choice that you made is putting you in a position to strain. Instead of, well, I got plenty of club with the 7-iron to get there. I'm going to use a nice dose of momentum to whip through that blur in that direction. Now we're talking. So we got the direction of the blur, the low point of the blur, the distance to ball. Now we're getting really warm. Now we've used momentum to deliver the shot. Point number 5, you don't want to miss. Point number 5, the release. You can't be guiding that club into that direction. You have a beautiful momentum giving you a nice blur into that direction. The last thing you want to do is try to guide it there. So we go back to one of our favorite release drills. Slash that sword, not guide the sword. Put the lead hand on. Let that sword release so you're feeling a nice yielding release in that direction. So go to Premium, go to wisdomandgolfpremium.com and check out all the release videos. You're going to absolutely love them. So I'm feeling a nice dose of momentum, releasing me in that direction. I see the blur, the low point, and the distance to the ball, all there. So now all I got to do is let momentum release me into that direction with the feel that I just got. And that is just terrific. It started a little right of what I wanted to and drew back, but that would be an excellent miss. I can play golf with that. That's a successful rep. Let's just do one with a fairway wood, shall we? Just so you get a really good idea. So I got a little 3-wood in my hands. I'm gonna do a little fade from the left tree back to the gap at the most to the right trees. So I have my intermediate point that I'm going to use, which is that divot I just had with the 7-iron. I'm going to do a nice little practice swing. I'm slightly downhill here, so I'm going to follow that slope down the hill. So I used a nice dose of momentum to go in that direction. I saw that the low point, now remember, the low point with the fairway woods is still out here in front of the ball. See that? Right there. So it's ball, grass, ground in the direction that I want to go. So it's got to be very, very clear in your mind. So I'm going to be going through that divot with the sole of the club. So practice swing. That felt amazing. That was momentum. That was nicely released. That was low point. That was proper direction. So now we're going to let momentum deliver that shot once again. What was that feel again? Oh, yeah. And there you have it, right down the middle of the gulch. Oh, that's fun. The gulch. Yes, it is. The gulch. The gullet. The gulch. I invented a word.
I said that's not a word.
What is it?
Narrow and steep-sided ravine marking the course of a fast stream.
What, gulch?
Yeah.
Hey! Ooh, Daddy knows best!
So there's no way that's a word.
Yep.
Word, yeah.
Oh yeah, there's 60 years of wisdom in this thing, okay? So there it is. 5 important things to see, feel, and hear when you're delivering your practice swing. That's going to give you clarity to execute your shots on the golf course. Practice this on the range, get comfortable with that, with those reference points, bring it to the golf course and enjoy.